Leny Yoro has given Manchester United the green light. He is ready to join the biggest football club in the world and personal terms. Meanwhile, that's the same story with Mason Greenwood and Olympic Marseille. My name is Web. Welcome to the United Hotspot. Now, today, a big one has dropped. The first interview I promised you guys, I told you days before, if you've been following my videos, that in the timeline of events this week, after Zirkzee is done, expect a video, his first official video to be done. And, it feels good as a journalist. And, of course, I'm both a journalist and a fan of Man United. It feels good when you break something and, you preempt things and they happen. It's a good feeling. So let me brag a bit for a second because, I'm happy about it. But anyway, yeah, Joshua Zirkzee has dropped his first official interview as a Manchester United player. You can check it out on the Manchester United website. It is there, and he spoke about a lot of interesting things, about himself, and of course the club, and his dreams with Man United, how he fell in love with the club and stuff like that. I quite liked what I saw. I won't go into details of that. I'll probably drop a video about it later on. But I just want to focus more on what's happening, what's going on. Of course, when it comes to the transfers, right now the big one is Leny Yoro. That is going on. It's almost becoming, looking obvious. I think clear now that Manchester United would go for him and sell him, because the player who has been thinking and inquiring and trying to do all from the things, according to reports coming through from the same news source that broke the story about Man United being interested in him. They are saying that he has already initiated personal terms with the club, and in fact the talks are ongoing well about his wages and stuff like that. So the terms are being discussed between him and the club. Remember, with the club to club, it was already done, and they accepted the offer from Man United. That's about 42 million pounds plus a further 8 million pounds. So that's according to what we got. So I think Leny Yoro is going to be done. I think it will happen. Like I've been telling you, I think it's most likely going to happen. But of course, we know that it's not even half of what we want to do. We need three centre backs in this summer, and even if we sell him, when it happens, trust you me, we'll still have a lot of work to do in terms of getting other centre backs to join the team. So beautiful stuff there. Interesting update. Of course, I'll give you more about what's going on from that deal. The same thing is the same case with Mason Greenwood, as it has been said that Greenwood has given Marseille the green light to proceed, I think, and get done with negotiations. Of course, the verbal agreements have been made between Greenwood and Olympic Marseille over his contract, the duration of his contract, the wages he's going to earn. Remember, Man United already agreed with Olympic Marseille on a 30 million euros bid plus add-ons and a 50% sell-on clause. So of course, Man United are still winning either way, whichever way you look at it. So because obviously you expect after 1 or 2 seasons, Greenwood is going to be one of the hottest footballers in the world, and Olympic Marseille will be ready to cash in. So without a doubt, for me, I think it should be a good deal for Manchester United. So the Greenwood deal is also going on. Of course, it's getting closer now because the player, at least from what we get, seems to have given the green light that Olympic Marseille is the club he wants to join. I was still hoping that INEOS are playing a delay game, delaying tactics, but it's probably they have already now decided that Mason Greenwood can go and join Olympic Marseille. So Mathis did it. The deal will happen. It will happen. The bid will be placed in. I think it's a matter of time that Man United will do that. Probably the focus now is on Leny Yoro because his deal was more complicated, because it's difficult to handle deals, in situ. I think it was more complicated. That's why they went for it first to try and clear that, because Mathis deal is so obvious. It's so direct. It's a direct deal. There's not so back and forth involved between him and the club and club to club. So probably that's why it's silent now. After Leny Yoro, we'll probably be hoping that we see we see Mathis Delete being finalized and sealed as well. I think before the end of our preseason tour, I think without a doubt we should be able to sign at least 2 or 3 more players. Honestly, that's what I think, and maybe the rest can come, along the way. So that's again, what's going on. Harry Maguire is injured. Remember, he missed the Euros because of injury, and his rehabilitation is going on well. He's at Carrington. He's not traveling with the team to Norway, but he's at Carrington, and his recovery is looking good, at least from what we get from the club. His recovery is looking exciting. It's looking positive for the 31-year-old. And as it seems, United seem to be determined to see him fit, probably to sell him. I don't think the fitness they are hoping for is for him to stay, given how many centre backs United seem to be so focused on bringing in. So I think his fitness is to help him get a club that should be able to give Man United reasonable money for him, for the former captain. I don't see him being in the long-term plans of INEOS, of Eric Ten Hag. So that's a bit of a wrap up of what's going on in terms of current update to do with Manchester United. But away from that, there is a lot more to look at Man United. Of course, we have a preseason game that's coming on the 20th against Rangers. The Before we go into the our tour of the US, so it's an important game that. But uh, I of course know that McTominay and Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen are expected to come back. I think in the coming days, in just a few days from now, according to the manager. This was confirmed. But I wanted to talk about Man United and what what kind of football United is set to play going forward, especially in the next season. Just trying to dig into what I am seeing in your building. I feel like we are going to say a whole different game. You recall that one of the main disquiets we had about Eric Ten Hag and his style was mostly the lack of identity in terms of how we were playing. There was no clear definition of how we are playing, and of course we know that now that's not entirely up to him. It's of course a team now of the sporting director and all these guys who have come in, the technical director, and name them, to try and create and work with him to shape a style that Man United will play and hope. I mean, I was listening to Dan Ashworth while he was still at Brighton explaining properly what his job was and what the job of the director of football is, and what exactly they do. And you really see that as a club, as the owners of the club, you must have a vision of the club, how you want it to play, and you find a manager who will fit into that vision. Now, the vision of INEOS seems to be clear. If you look at the players they're looking at to sign, I think INEOS want entertaining football for Man United. And without a shadow of a doubt, we've seen Ajax under Eric Ten Hag play entertaining football. And we've seen moments where we've scored entertaining goals. Case in point is that FA Cup goal by Kobe Maino against Man City. So, in terms of that entertaining game, I think Eric Ten Hag has shown, and perhaps that is why Ineos thought he's the best option for their project. He has shown that he can play that kind of football. The question was, can he make it the style of Man United? And I'm looking, and he said, recall that he did not have the personnel who could play that style that we wanted to see, that we hoped he would bring at Man United after being moved by what we saw him do at Ajax. But I'm looking at the players from Joshua Zirkzee, who we've signed. I've defined him and his style here. I look at Delete as a centre back. I look at Leny Yoro. I look at Javi Simons. If you look at the players we are being linked with, or those we have signed already, there is a general, you get the sense that United wants to play a certain entertaining style of football, not just winning, competing to win. Because if winning was just the thing we want to do, Eric Ten Hag won, but probably in the most painful way. You compare his winning to how England pushed their way to the final of the FA Cup, rather of the Euros, because they were winning games somehow without playing good football. I don't think that's what Ineos want. I think it's clear now from the signings that Ineos are making that they want a certain entertaining brand of football that will then result in trophies, that we are winning titles but while entertaining the supporters, which for me, I think is something that has been lacking at Man United for a long time. And it's a good way for Ineos to really resurrect what I would say that dead that sort of hitherto dead love and passion about Man United. Because whereas Sir Alex Ferguson's football was not style and panache, it was entertaining. There was a certain entertainment you got watching Man United games, with that directness that they used to play with high intensity and press and rather and zeal and fire and motivation and conviction. Now, the entertainment might not be that from Eric Ten Hag, but you look at the players they're bringing and you think you want players from the Delita and Lisandro Martinez. You're clearly seeing these are players who play from the back. In the middle, you've got Kobe and Bruno. These are ball players, proper ball players. You've got Hoyland, you've got Zirkzee, and now Ahmad and all these players. You just look at a team that can proper put on an entertaining game. And for me, before we get back into winning and just winning games to win titles, it's going to be so important to see some bit of entertainment in Man United games because we've lacked it for a long time. So that for me is an observation I've made that gives me a lot of hope in what INEOS are working on. I don't know about you. Drop down a comment and let me know whether you're excited for the brand of football we are about to play based on what you see INEOS are doing. My name is Webb. This is the United Hotspot. Peace, love, and harmony.